Greetings, my lords and my ladies. Welcome to another episode of Chronicles of the Immortals, where we uncover stories of our beloved heroes. And tonight I will tell you the tale of the blind commander, John Zizka. They said he was finished. A hardened warrior, betrayed by his own body. His vision stolen by a battlefield injury. In his time of greatest weakness, his enemies saw their chance to crush him and his cause. They were about to learn a terrible lesson. This is the story of the commander who refused to lose. In the 15th century, the heart of Europe was boiling with conflict. In Bohemia, a religious and social revolution was exploding. People demanded reform, challenging the power of the church and the nobility. The established powers responded not with debate, but with the sword. They declared a crusade, inviting armies from across the continent to invade Bohemia and wipe out the rebellion. The revolutionaries were farmers, townsfolk, and lower nobility, brave but outnumbered and out-equipped. They needed a leader who could perform miracles, and they found young Zizka. Zizka was a veteran of mercenary wars, a master of brutal, practical warfare. He looked at his untrained forces and saw not weakness, but potential. He looked at their resources and saw weapons. His genius was adaptation. He transformed common farm wagons into something revolutionary, the Wagenburg. These wagons were chained together into a rolling, mobile fortress. Inside this protective ring, he placed his artillery, early cannons and handguns, and his infantry. It was a defensive citadel that could move. When the first crusading army, clad in shining steel, charged at him, they ran headlong into this movable wall of wood and fire. Cannons roared, crossbows and early guns cut down the knights. The charge shattered against Zizka's ingenuity. He didn't just defend. At the perfect moment, he would order a sudden, fierce counterattack from the wagons, routing the confused enemy. It was a total victory against impossible odds. But fate wasn't finished with Zizka. During a siege, he suffered a second catastrophic injury. The world went dark. He was completely blind. For any other general this was the end. But for Zizka, it was merely another obstacle to master. He commanded the battlefield through his ears and through the voices of his aides. They became his eyes, describing the terrain, the enemy formations, the flow of the battle. Into this stream of information he inserted his tactical genius. He began to win even more audacious victories, now completely blind. He orchestrated complex maneuvers, feint retreats, and devastating ambushes. His blindness seemed to heighten his other senses, and his men followed him with a faith that bordered on reverence. He became a living legend, the blind commander who could not be defeated. For years he fought battle after battle. He faced second, third and fourth crusades, each larger than the last. He adapted his wagon tactics for every terrain, hills, forests, open plains. He integrated captured enemy knights into his own forces. His army revolved from a militia into Europe's first professional revolutionary fighting force. And he never ever lost a single battle, not one. Even his death was on his own terms. He didn't fall in battle but succumbed to plague in 1424. On his deathbed, his final order was to have his skin used to make a war drum, so he could lead his men into battle one last time. His enemies, hearing he was dead, finally dared to invade again. They were swiftly crushed by his disciples, fighting in his name and using his methods. His legacy is not just one of unbeaten tactics, It is the story of sheer will. He transformed peasants into an army that defied empires. He turned wagons into fortresses. He turned darkness into a strategic tool. He proved that innovation, belief and indomitable spirit can change the course of history. He was the ferocious heart of a revolution. Jan Zizka, the commander who refused to be defeated. Thank you for watching and see you in the Infinity Kingdom. Bye bye.